lovelies, it's Sarah the Rebel from Nerdy But Flirty. Did you miss me? I hope not, because that would make me sad. But I have good news about that. I have started streaming way more often because I have a PS4 now. Yeah, I know I said I was never going to get it because it was a launch console, but I didn't get it. Somebody got it for my birthday, along with other cool things like this Thane action figure and a Garrus pop cap. I actually got 4 of these. It's a funny story. I guess people, you tell them you like something and they all just get it. It's probably poor planning on my part. Anyway, so it's really easy to stream with the PS4, and then also my friend Capwan, Kapwan, please go watch his streams if you like fighting games. Anyway, he set up my stream on my computer, and after playing the Elder Scrolls Online beta, I feel more comfortable actually playing PC games. So all in all, you're going to see my face a lot more if you go to Twitch/SarahTheRebel, SarahTheRebel. Haha, I did it, I spelled. Anyway, so check me out on there. Anyway, so today I wanted to talk about Miss Marvel, the new Miss Marvel that came out. For anyone confused or doesn't know the backstory, basically the old Miss Marvel got promoted. She's now Captain Marvel, and she's really awesome, and you should really be reading those comics. But in the meantime, Kamala Khan, who is a Palestinian American, her religion is Islam. This is all very interesting and exciting to somebody like me who likes diversity. And she's our new Miss Marvel. And you may be saying, how, when, why, where? Well, you have to go get the issue to find that out. Oh, wait, I have it. I can show you what it looks like. It's very pretty. Ooh, so exciting. I don't think we've had a female Muslim superhero before, so this was like a really big deal. I read it, I enjoyed it a lot, and I just wanted to kind of talk about, not a review, but just something in it that I found, I don't know, kind of touching and really personal. So this is really personal. If that makes you uncomfortable, sorry. You may just want to click away and just watch some other video on this channel. Anyway, there's a part in Miss Marvel where she wants to go out to a party, and her father says no. And she says, don't you trust me? And he says, I trust you. I don't trust those boys. Now, I just had a moment when I read this of like remembering how my thought process worked when I was a teenager and a young adult versus how it works now that I'm like considered a totally an adult now. When you're younger and you hear that, you relate to Kamala. You're like, parents just don't get it. Like, she's going to be fine. She's not going to do anything bad. She just wants to go have a good time. And then when you're older, you really relate to the parent and you're like, he's trying to stop you from getting raped. He's trying to prevent somebody from assaulting you, from taking advantage of you. And just those two disparate thoughts were just kind of like a moment for me because, as most of you know, I am a survivor of rape. And it's something that I also didn't take seriously. My mother said, don't open the door for strangers. It was a very simple concept. Don't open the door for strangers. That makes sense to everybody, right? I'd let an acquaintance borrow Parasite Eve, and he brought it back, and he knocked on my door. He's not a stranger, right? He's a person that I let borrow a video game, and he's returning it to me. That is a very legitimate reason to open the door. And I opened the door, and he raped me. And that, of course, is sad in and of itself. And it proves that point of, like, you really do need to be protected, and you need to have this viewpoint that it's not about what you're going to do. It's not about your choices. It's about the choices of people around you. And I don't think that young women get that because so much of our culture, our rape culture, is based on blaming the victim. If she didn't walk down a dark alley, she wouldn't have got attacked. If she wasn't wearing tight clothes, if she wasn't drinking, if she wasn't wearing that miniskirt, we say all these things. And before you stop and say, well, I don't say these things, we say those things too. When I hear a story about somebody who got beat up or mugged, and I'm like, well, what were they doing at 4 in the morning in the park? We always have this idea in our head that we would do better than that other person, that we have the right plan and we wouldn't have made those mistakes. And even with my story, you're like, well, you should have listened to your mother. You shouldn't have opened the door. But again, you don't really know what's going to happen, especially when you're that young. You don't really believe that that friend who from another neighborhood who borrowed your video game is going to barge in and rape you. Like, it's not something in your brain when you're younger. So just reading that part in Miss Marvel where he was just trying to explain to her, like, there's going to be alcohol and older boys there, and it's in a park, like, that's not a safe situation for you. And the fact that she just can't get it and really feels like she's being treated as a child and she's not allowed to have any fun was just very striking. You know, there was so much good in this comic, though. I mean, the way the food was prepared, the little things about culture, like discussing honor killing, and things like that. I just, overall, Miss Marvel #1 just did a really good job of striking little points, make you want to go, ooh, 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 just do that when you read it, if you're that kind of person. I'm that kind of person. And then, of course, for me also it was painful because it was a parent to a daughter trying to say it. And not to put my mom's business out there, but I recently found out that my mother had been assaulted as a child, or as a teenager. And she devoted herself to protecting her daughters from getting raped. And she failed. My sister was molested by a family member, and then I was raped when I was a teenager. No matter how strict she was, she didn't let me go to sleepovers, she didn't let us hang out with our friends late at night, she didn't let us go to suspicious places. No matter how much my mom tried to protect me and tried to keep me away from anything dangerous, I still got raped, and my sister still got raped. And I have other family members who've been raped, and I have friends who've been raped. In fact, the majority of females that I know that I'm close enough to say I'm friends with have been raped. And as long as we're going to keep going on with this victim-blaming mentality of there are ways to prevent it versus this perpetrator-shaming mentality of, hey, don't rape, we're always going to see this disconnect with young girls. And so anyway, I know that got really deep for just talking about Miss Marvel #1, but, you know, nerdy but flirty, that's what we do. We talk about these sorts of issues. So it was just very interesting to me, you know, coming from it in that perspective and knowing that other readers are going to see it from different perspectives, and it's just interesting. So anyway, I hope you got something interesting out of it. I hope you picked up Miss Marvel #1. I hope you plan to get on board with that, and let me know. I know we haven't really talked about comics here before, so if you guys want to talk more about comics or see other things, like, let me know, and in the comments we can totally do more, because I read a lot of comics. And oh, check out Talking Comics Weekly and Comic Book Girl 19 if you like comic book stuff too, because they're two ladies that I love with all my heart, and they both have very different approaches, so it's not like you're like watching the same thing for both of them. Anyway, like this video if you like it, share if you want to like build the discussion among your friends, be sure to subscribe, and remember to check me out on Twitch as well, SarahTheRebel. Bye guys!